I don't think there's any other medium than video that really pulls at our heartstrings. Or as my dear business partner Barry Chugg, who's not here today, always says, video works in the affective domain. So we're talking about the heart and the feeling, and I believe firmly that it's the heart that eventually motivates the head. However, for a lot of people, and people think a lot of people in business, it's the head. They need to know that the head made the decision because the heart just doesn't make any sense. So I think there's a bunch of tension out there. Is the head right, or can the heart be good for business? The beginning is always, what are you about though? Who are you authentically behind the work you're doing? You want to create a story about your organization, and of course you want to look pulled together, we all do, and you want to be responsible and knowledgeable, and you want to make a good impression, and essentially you want to have the facts. And facts, and only facts, are terrific if you're doing a brochure or maybe making a web page or even writing a book. But what makes video magic, and I firmly believe that there is magic in this medium, is in the process. And the key to that magic for me, and I would say for the people I've worked with, is to be absolutely vulnerable. I think great video equals vulnerability. So being vulnerable is key, and most of us grew up in a world where vulnerability was often equated with being weak, and I know I've struggled with that. There was a strength in stoicism, but I've come to know in the years I've been doing this that vulnerable is how you get to the heart with video, and in my world, the world of video, when you're going for the heart, then you get to the head. Now, video does need the head. You do need to have the pre-production. If you're putting in a proposal, you do need to know what you're going to focus on. You might not know exactly how you're going to tell that story, but you need to know what the story is. And you're the subject matter expert, so you'll know what the story is. You don't need to know how it looks yet. Video stories are sometimes linear, but they're not always linear. They sometimes feature live action video, so that's people or talking heads, or we're documenting things, but not always. They use music, but again, not always. Some really powerful films have no sound at all, and I think it was The Artist that won Best Picture last year, so there's a terrific example. So right away, there's an inherent level of creativity in this medium, and I think that's terrific because what it allows you to do is often a lot with not very much. You can tell a great story, and we've had two fascinating speakers talking about stories. You can tell a great story which moves people and impacts their hearts, which again gets them to make the head decision in a number of ways. As we create these more impactful, more emotional video pieces, when we do a video, it is not intimate. It is a noisy set, maybe the size of this stage, and we've got lights, and we've got a boom man with like 10 feet from your face, there's the big boom, there's a cameraman, the phone rings, we have to stop. The air conditioner starts, we have to stop. There's a million distractions, and it's highly artificial. So the important thing in terms of vulnerability is to make the interviewee feel vulnerable, what I call that kind of bubble of truth. And it's important that the interviewer takes that chance and engages and makes eye contact and really listens, because the stories that you're telling about your organization or your clients are telling are often deeply personal stories. You wouldn't tell someone at a cocktail party. So why would you tell someone who just showed up and, oh, we have half an hour to tell your story? It's really important to create that deep level of trust to get to the vulnerability, which gets you to the heart, which triggers the head. Now, I just want to take a quick second to talk about return on investment. I know when people look at doing a video, they are often shocked at the cost. And there are a number of ways to do a video. You can make one with your webcam and tell a story that way. There's a whole spectrum of telling stories with video. When I talk about the work that I primarily do, helping people tell their stories on video, there is an investment, and it often seems like, oh my goodness, that's a big investment. But measure that against the return on investment and how you want to tell your story. And again, come back to the truth about your organization and who you are. What way to tell your story makes sense? And again, remember with video, you can play these again and again and again.